Have you ever felt that quiet voice inside, whispering what you're truly meant to do? But fear kept you frozen. You wake up every day with dreams in your heart, yet you hesitate, overthink, and wait for the perfect time that never comes. Listen, your heart already knows the way. It's not confusion holding you back, it's doubt. And doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. The truth is, no one's coming to give you permission. You don't need validation to chase what sets your soul on fire. The moment you decide right now to trust that inner pull, your life begins to change. Because when you start following your heart, you step into alignment with your destiny. You attract opportunities, people, and doors that were invisible before. Action is the bridge between your dream and your reality. So stop waiting for the right moment. The right moment is the one you create. Start following your heart and take action. Because the world is waiting for the version of you who finally said, I'm ready. There is a quiet voice within you that knows the truth, long before your mind tries to reason it away. It whispers in moments of stillness, guiding you toward the path that was always meant for you. This voice is not loud or demanding, but steady and sure. It speaks through intuition, through those sudden bursts of clarity that tell you what feels right and what doesn't. Too often, we silence that void of fear, doubt, or the desire to please others. We ignore what our heart is saying because we are afraid of being wrong, afraid of being judged, or afraid of failing. The more we ignore it, the more disconnected we feel from ourselves. That inner voice is not just emotion, it is the language of your soul, the compass that points toward your highest potential. It is the part of you that knows your purpose, even when your circumstances seem unclear. When you trust that voice, you begin to live in alignment with your true self. Life starts to feel more meaningful because every choice comes from authenticity rather than obligation. You stop chasing what looks right and start pursuing what feels right. You stop living by other people's definitions of success and begin walking toward the fulfillment that only you can define. Trusting your inner voice doesn't mean every step will be easy or predictable. It means you are willing to walk into uncertainty with faith, that your heart knows where it's leading you. You learn to listen more deeply to your feelings, to your instincts, to the gentle pull that says, this is where you belong. The inner voice often speaks softly, but its direction is powerful. It will never lead you toward fear, bitterness, or regret. It will always guide you toward growth, courage, and peace. Sometimes that means letting go of what no longer serves you, even when it's familiar. Sometimes it means stepping into new spaces that challenge you to rise higher. The more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes. You begin to distinguish it from the noise of the world, from opinions, and from the pressure to conform. You begin to recognize the calm that comes with truth and the unease that comes with compromise. Following this inner guidance is not about perfection. It's about alignment. It's about trusting that there is wisdom within you greater than any external advice. It's about realizing that your soul already knows what your mind is trying to figure out. The inner voice will not always give you the full map, but it will give you the next step. And when you take that step in faith, the next one appears. This is how purpose unfolds, not through control, but through trust. When you live guided by that voice, you stop existing and start truly living. You move from confusion to clarity, from fear to conviction, from wandering to walking in purpose. Doubt is the silent force that destroys dreams before they even have the chance to live. It creeps in quietly, disguised as logic, caution, or preparation, and convinces you to pause when you should move. Doubt doesn't shout. It whispers just enough to make you question yourself. It tells you that you're not ready, not good enough, not capable of handling what's ahead. It convinces you to wait for the perfect time, which never comes. Failure can teach you lessons, build your resilience, and strengthen your character. But doubt steals your opportunities before they ever reach your hands. You can recover from failure, but you cannot recover from the chances you never took because you doubted yourself. Every dream that was never pursued, every idea that stayed hidden, every goal that faded away, it wasn't failure that ended it. It was doubt that stopped it before it began. The power of doubt lies in its subtlety. It disguises itself as wisdom, making you believe that you're being realistic or cautious, when in truth, You're being held hostage by fear. Doubt makes you overthink what could go wrong instead of envisioning what could go right. It makes you compare your journey to others and underestimate your own progress. It blinds you to your potential because it focuses your attention on your limits. The truth is, no one is born completely confident. Confidence grows from action, not from waiting until you feel ready. Every person who ever achieved greatness had moments of uncertainty, but they chose faith over doubt. They took steps even when fear tried to paralyze them. They understood that failure was not the end. It was part of the process. Doubt thrives in inaction. The longer you hesitate, the louder it becomes. It feeds on your fears and multiplies with every second you spend second-guessing yourself. The only way to silence it is through movement. When you act, even imperfectly, you weaken its power. Every small victory, every tiny step forward builds evidence that you are capable. The mind starts to believe what your actions prove. Doubt cannot coexist with momentum because motion creates confidence and confidence crushes hesitation. The irony is that most of what you fear will never happen. The scenarios you create in your head are illusions, but they hold real power if you let them. Failure is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. It refines your strategy, tests your patience, and strengthens your determination. Doubt, on the other hand, teaches you nothing. It traps you in the same place, replaying the same worries, creating the illusion of safety while keeping you far from growth. The pain of failure fades, but the regret of not trying lingers forever. You can rebuild from a fall, but you cannot build from fear. The world doesn't need another dream buried under uncertainty. It needs your courage to rise above the noise of doubt and move toward what you were created to do. Too many people spend their lives waiting for approval that will never come. They wait for someone to tell them they're ready, talented enough, or worthy enough to go after what they love. But passion is not something that requires permission. It is a call from within, a force that refuses to stay silent. No one else can validate your dreams because no one else can see them the way you do. The vision that burns in your heart was placed there for a reason, and it doesn't need to be understood or accepted by others for it to be real. The moment you start seeking permission to pursue your passion, you hand over the power that was always meant to be yours. Passion is deeply personal. It's the thing that keeps you awake at night, the thought that won't leave you alone, the feeling that something greater is waiting for you. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. The people around you may not understand your drive because they weren't given your vision. They might project their fears onto you, telling you to play it safe, to take the predictable route, to settle for what's secure. But the path of passion was never meant to be safe. It was meant to be fulfilling. When you stop asking for permission, you start living on your own terms. You begin to make choices from conviction, not conformity. Waiting for others to approve of your dreams is a subtle form of self-sabotage. It keeps you dependent on opinions that are constantly changing. People will doubt you when you start and admire you when you succeed. But if you wait for their applause, you'll never begin. The truth is, the world doesn't give permission to dreamers until they prove it's possible. Every great creator, leader, or innovator once stood in the same place, faced with criticism, misunderstanding, and rejection. They didn't wait for someone to grant them a title or a green light. They created their own lane through persistence and belief. When you give yourself permission to pursue your passion, you unlock the energy that makes life meaningful. You begin to operate from purpose rather than pressure. You start to see obstacles as challenges instead of barriers. The journey becomes more about expression than perfection. You stop trying to fit into systems that were never built for your vision. Instead, you create your own path and let your passion guide the way. Pursuing what you love is not selfish. It's an act of courage. It's saying yes to the potential within you and no to the expectations that limit you. You are the only one who can decide when it's time to begin. You don't need a certificate, a title, or anyone's validation to chase what sets your soul on fire. You don't need to be chosen because you already are. The moment you give yourself permission, everything starts to shift. The ideas begin to flow, the opportunities appear, and the confidence grows because you're no longer waiting. You're moving in the direction of your passion, with the authority that was always yours. Dreams begin as invisible sparks, beautiful, inspiring, and full of potential. But without action, they remain locked inside the imagination. Action is the force that brings life to vision. It is the bridge between what you see in your mind and what you can touch in reality. Too many people dream endlessly, waiting for the perfect conditions to start, but perfection never arrives. The truth is that dreams don't work unless you do. Every great achievement in history began with someone who refused to just think about it. They took a step even when the outcome was uncertain. Action transforms ideas into movement, and movement creates momentum. Once you start, even the smallest effort begins to reshape your reality. Action is more powerful than intention. You can plan, visualize, and prepare, but none of it matters until you move. Thinking without doing becomes a trap of false progress. It feels productive, but it changes nothing. The gap between dreaming and achieving is filled only by consistent effort. You might stumble, you might fail, but every attempt brings clarity and growth. Through action, you learn what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. You can't adjust a dream that's only in your head. You can only refine a path that's in motion. The moment you take action, the universe begins to respond. Opportunities you couldn't see before start to appear because action opens doors that hesitation keeps shut. Dreams require discipline. They demand the courage to begin when no one is watching, and the persistence to keep going when results are slow. Action teaches resilience because every challenge becomes a test of how much you truly want what you're chasing. You discover that progress is not made in leaps, but in steady daily steps. The effort you put in today becomes the foundation for tomorrow's success. You don't have to know every detail or have every resource. You only need to start with what you have and commit to growing along the way. Progress is built in the quiet moments when you choose movement over excuses, commitment over comfort, and consistency over doubt. Action also shifts your identity. It transforms you from a dreamer into a doer. Each step you take builds confidence. Because you prove to yourself that you are capable, you begin to trust your ability to create change rather than waiting for change to find you. Action breeds belief, and belief fuels more action. It becomes a powerful cycle that turns possibility into proof. The fear of failure fades because you realize that inaction was the real failure all along. Every dream carries potential, but only through action does it gain power. You can't wish your way into purpose, you must work your way there. Each moment you move forward, you carve a new reality, one decision and one action at a time. What begins as a vision becomes a journey, and what starts as a dream becomes a life that reflects the courage to act. Following your heart is not about chasing fleeting emotions. It's about listening to the deeper wisdom within you that knows your true path. Every person is born with a unique purpose, a calling that speaks through passion, curiosity, and desire. When you follow your heart, you align with that calling. You begin to move in harmony with the direction your soul was designed to go. Life becomes less about forcing outcomes and more about flowing with divine timing. The heart carries the map to your destiny, but many people ignore it because they fear uncertainty or judgment. They let logic override intuition, even when something inside tells them there is more. Yet destiny is never found in comfort zones. It reveals itself in moments of courage when you choose to trust your inner compass. The heart doesn't speak in facts and figures, it speaks in feelings, in the quiet assurance that says, "This is right for me." Following it requires faith, especially when the path ahead is unclear. It asks you to walk by trust, not by sight, believing that each step will lead to the next. Every time you honor your heart, you shift closer to alignment with your purpose. The right people, opportunities, and experiences begin to appear, not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. It's as if the universe responds to your authenticity. When you follow what feels true, you attract what belongs to you. Living from the heart also means letting go of what no longer fits. It means having the courage to release what drains your spirit so you can make space for what fulfills it. You can't walk in your destiny while holding on to things that keep you bound to your past. The heart knows when it's time to move on, even when the mind resists. Trusting it allows you to evolve into who you were always meant to be. Destiny is not something you chase. It's something you align with through truth, love, and conviction. Every time you silence fear and follow your inner knowing, you take another step toward it. Following your heart doesn't mean the road will be easy, but it means the journey will be real. Challenges may come, but they shape you for the role your destiny requires you to play. Each obstacle becomes preparation for the greatness that lies ahead. The alignment of heart and purpose creates peace that no success without meaning could ever bring. It grounds you in clarity, reminding you that fulfillment is not found in external rewards, but in living a life that reflects who you truly are. The heart will always lead you toward what's meant for you, even if the road seems uncertain. When you choose to follow it, you stop drifting through life and start walking with direction, guided by the force that knows exactly where you belong. The idea of a perfect moment is one of the biggest illusions that holds people back from living their dreams. So many wait for the right time, the right opportunity, the right feeling before they begin, but waiting often turns into wasting. The truth is, there is no perfect moment waiting to arrive. Every great story, every powerful success began when someone decided to act despite uncertainty. The right moment is never found. It is created through courage, discipline, and action. Life doesn't reward hesitation, it rewards movement. The doors you are waiting for only open when you start walking toward them. The longer you wait, the further your dreams drift from reach. The people who achieve what others call impossible are not necessarily more talented. They're simply those who stopped waiting for permission and started creating momentum. Every day you hesitate, fear grows stronger and confidence grows weaker. You convince yourself that when circumstances improve, then you'll begin. But circumstances rarely align perfectly. There will always be something missing, a resource, support, time, or clarity. But the truth is, everything starts to align after you begin. Act of taking the first step sets a chain reaction in motion. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. You learn, adjust, and grow as you move. Waiting for ideal timing is often an excuse disguised as preparation. The greatest opportunities are born from imperfect beginnings. The moment you take initiative, you send a message to life that you're ready to receive more. Creating your moment means taking ownership of your life. It means realizing that no one else is responsible for your progress. You can't wait for luck, for approval, or for the right mood to strike. You become the architect of your own timing. The right moment happens when you make a decision and commit to it fully. Every great inventor, leader, or dreamer started before they felt ready. They used what they had, where they were, and made it enough. Progress is never about perfection. It's about consistency. Once you stop waiting and start doing, time begins to work for you instead of against you. You start to see results that fuel your belief and attract the opportunities you once thought you lacked. The power of creation lies in movement. Even the smallest step can shift the energy of your entire life. When you decide to act, you break the cycle of doubt and awaken potential that was dormant inside you. You realize that the future you want is not waiting somewhere ahead. It's being built in every decision you make today. The right moment is not a date on a calendar or a sign from the sky. It's the instant you say, "I'm done waiting." It's when you take control of your story and create your own timing through belief, persistence, and action. Every second becomes the right one when you choose to move forward with intention. Life will always give you reasons to wait, to doubt, and to question your worth. But the truth is, your breakthrough begins the moment you decide to trust yourself and move forward. Your heart already knows the direction you're meant to go, and your purpose is awakened through bold, consistent action. Doubt may whisper that you're not enough, but action will prove that you are more than capable. You don't need anyone's permission to pursue what sets your soul on fire, because passion itself is your permission slip. Every step you take turns your vision into reality, and every choice to follow your heart aligns you closer with your destiny. The timing you're waiting for will never arrive by chance. It begins when you create it. Your dream is not somewhere far away. It's within you, waiting for courage to unlock it. So stop waiting, stop wondering, and start walking. The world is ready for the version of you who finally listens to your heart and takes action.